Hello there, Vanagon Addicts. Long time no see. Ken Wilford here at Van again. Just wanted to come at you guys. It's a Friday, and I just wanted to come and say hi to you folks, see how you're doing, and talk about some products. Number one, I want to say thank you to our Patreon subscribers. Okay, we got Eric Schneider, we got Chris Snyder, okay, we got Peter Benici. Thank you guys. You've been faithful to us all winter, even though we haven't really been doing that many videos. We haven't been doing any live streams. But I just wanted to say hi. If you guys are here, say hi in the chat. But I just wanted to touch base with you guys, let you know that we are still alive. We are still doing stuff. This winter was kind of rough for us, but as far as personally, business-wise, everything's going good. I see Steve DeRuiter's in the chat. Good to see you, Steve. And anybody else that wants to say hi that's here can say hi. We probably won't have many people because we haven't did a live stream in, like, I don't know, since the fall, something like that. But it was rough this winter. But thankfully, we're coming out of the winter, and things are hopefully getting a little bit better. Here in New Jersey, the weather is still pretty bad. I'm trying to finish some projects, like you guys probably are, to get these things back on the road. I mean, now's the right time to be doing your projects, getting them done, so that when summer gets here, when spring gets here, instead of working on your van, you can be enjoying your van. So I hope you guys have a nice place to work on your van. You can be out in the weather. Good to see Green Cubed here with us today as well. Alright, so what do we want to talk about? Well, over the course of the winter, we have been working tirelessly to bring in things that haven't been available before, haven't been available for a long time. So that's what we have. I'm going to show you some of the stuff. Something I think we showed you guys last year are these Sills things for thanks, Nick. Nick gave us a $2 donation. That's always appreciated. These door sill units, these are for early Westies, usually the white ones. And when you open your sliding door, they'll be right down there. Later Westies, this black sill, okay, it's made out of plastic, and they are made by a company in Germany that's super picky about what they make. Okay, so they try to make them look like, be original, look original. I had a lady I sold a black one to. She's like, I have a white one. I'm like, okay, I have white ones. Is it curved or something? I'm like, well, no, because originally it wasn't, or maybe if it was, they used a heat gun on it and curved it that way. Okay, so, and I saw a guy in the Samba who actually did it with a heat gun. So we have these available. They're on the site. If you have a Westie, regular Vanagon actually used a metal sill. Like, usually they're either silver or black, but they're made out of aluminum. So, you know, if you have a regular Westie, or a regular Vanagon that's not a Westie, that you don't need that. You need to look for something else. I don't have any metal ones here at the moment, but we do have the plastic ones for Westie people who are restoring a Westie. Alright, then for a long time we've had the early Vanagon shifter parts available. Basically, this shifter bushing here was the one for a long time nobody could get. We've had these available for probably 5 or 6 years now, and people buy them like, I don't know, almost one a day I sell. What I was going to update you is that there's like a new version that's clear that's being made, because I always am worried that these are going to run out. Like, basically these I'm pretty sure are like some kind of new old stock. The gray ones, they were like red or orange at one time. Then they went to like this tan looking one. But now this one company, it's actually JP Group, they're making some brand new ones out of clear plastic. So we are going to continue to be supplying them to people pretty much for the foreseeable future. So that's good. Okay, I have a lot of people that call me that have early Vanagons, like, and they can't find any of the shifter pieces, and I say, hey, we've got you covered on that. But here's an update. Okay, now Steve's got to hold on to his seat because he might, you know, fly out of it or something. I don't know what's going to happen. There's a part that we haven't been able to get for a really long time. Okay, it's part of the early shifter bushings, and it's basically been discontinued for probably 20 years. And we actually have it. Okay, so if you know anything about the early shifter, there was a bushing at the Universal. There was 2 bushings there. One is more like a starter bushing, so it's not really that hard to get something that works. Like, we sell a metal one that works there instead of the original plastic one. But that one is usually still okay. This other one that is the one that kind of faces up, that one is the one that's usually dead or bad. And we had one that we've been selling in place of this. A lot of people bought the alternative one that we've been selling. And hey, alright, we got another guy came in the chat, Per Hubinett from 85's got a Joker, got an 85 Joker in Sweden. Welcome. So anyway, we had an alternative one that we sold for years, and people used it, liked it. But it's nice to have something that's actually made to the original. So again, this is a company in Germany that sells these. We've got a bunch of them. And the nice part about these guys is the guy who runs it is super duper anal about how he makes his parts and what they're made out of. He wants them to be as perfect of a replica part as he can possibly get. And, you know, that's always a big plus. I got somebody that's trying to message me. That's what that noise is from the website. If you guys don't know about it, we do actually have a chat function in the website that I usually talk to people, you know, with all the time. People message me and ask me all kinds of questions about their van and that kind of thing. So, but also, of course, messages about buying parts is appreciated. This guy's messaging me right now, but I will probably try to talk to him later. So, some other parts that are recent, okay, being made are these little door pull things. Okay, these door pulls. They are like when you open your front doors, and we have left and right in black right now. And they're brand new. So again, when the plastic like fades out over time, you can have something new to put in there. These are made by JP Group. Okay, so again, JP Group for the most part tries to make nice stuff that's copied off of original stuff and things. So again, these are on the website, and they're left and right on these. You have to be specific on them. But something else that I thought you guys would be interested in is that some of the brown interior parts, right, guys? Right? Per Hubinett guy in Sweden, he has an 85. Okay, if this was here in the U.S., most likely he would have a brown interior that was cracking all to pieces, and all the plastic, brown plastic, is cracking apart. So this company is actually making brown, if you can kind of see that in brown, the exact same door pull things for the front doors in brown. Alright, now Steve, stop crying. Alright, don't cry, Steve. Alright, don't cry right now, because I'm telling you, you're tearing up. Alright, brown door frame, handle frame things for the front. Okay. Wow, never thought I would see them ever again in my lifetime. And we have them. They're new, a new addition. Also, the little finger thing that goes behind it, okay, in brown. So you can replace both sides of your front door handle pull things in brown, and it's new. Okay, now the actual handle pulls themselves, I haven't seen them in brown yet. Okay, so I'm waiting for that. That may be something that happens since these are actually available. If the guy also, here's another item. Okay, we talked about this item a while ago, but I wanted to remind you guys about it. Window cranks. Okay, so again, this is a part that people have bugged me about. and I'm doing this so you can see the fact that they actually had the chrome things on them. People bug me about these window cranks for the last, I don't know, 10 years. I get phone calls where people are like, yeah, well, you can get this, you can get, but what about window cranks? Okay, so I've been on like a little vendetta to try to get good window cranks. Just to be honest with you, back when you could get these, now this is, I would say this is a brown window crank. Okay, it looks brown. It's not as like light brown as you would remember the old window cranks being, but it's brownish. Okay, and just to be honest with you, these other reproduction brown plastic pieces are a lot darker than the original ones. To me, they seem darker. Why is that? Probably because they're using a different compound to make the brown color. Because, right, the original compound was crap. I mean, just look at what's happened. The black ones that we used to have from back in the day, a lot of them maybe are slightly faded, but they're still okay. The brown ones are all cracking apart, unless it's been in a garage. So, I had this one supplier, probably about 4 years ago. He came here. I said, if you want to make something that's going to make people super happy, brown window cranks. He was like looking at me like I was crazy. I said, no, definitely brown window cranks. And if you're going to go to all the trouble, put these chrome rings in here, because, again, people want that. I saw on eBay people were basically selling new old stock ones for $120. Really? $120? Yes, $120 for these. I have these new ones on my site. They're reproductions, but just to be honest with you, the most critical part is this part here where you turn the knob. Okay. When I could get the original ones from the dealer, you would grab this knob and it would just be loose. It'd be like, it'd be terrible. Okay. It was made. It looked like it was made by a kid or something. I mean, it was just trash. Okay. These ones, like when you touch this, it feels awesome. Like, it feels way better than any of the original ones. It feels like so nice and smooth. Like, I don't know how they've got this, and it feels like it's on here good too. Like, that's another problem. I would sell brand new brown ones to people. They cost $40, $30 when you could get them. Okay, from the dealer. And this button would be loose right from the get-go. About 2 weeks later, they would call me, that button thing, that winder thing just snapped off. It just fell off. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. It's a brand new OEM Volkswagen part. And it was. But it was made like crap. This is actually made nice. Okay, better. And it's cheaper. And it's not $120. And it's not 20 years old. Okay. So, Pear wants to know, do we ship outside the U.S.? Yes, almost every day. I get orders from Japan. I get orders from Europe. I get orders from Canada. And everywhere. Okay, so we definitely ship outside the U.S. We usually ship through the USPS, which is probably about 10 days to Europe, which is not too bad. Okay, and yes, so the answer is yes. And you should be able to order through the website and have all that stuff work to go to Europe, because I've shipped a lot of stuff. We ship to the UK, everywhere. Okay, so my window crank rambling thing is over, but we do have some of these as well. What else? Okay, I'm kind of running down the stuff I want to show you guys. This first stream, I didn't know how many people were going to show up, and I just didn't know how much stuff we want to talk about. So, alright, here's another piece that I actually supplied to this guy who's reproducing things. Okay, this one's actually got some scuffs on it. I don't know if I should send this back or not. But anyway, so this piece, this is for a synchro. It's where you put in your fuel. Okay, and again, this was not available for a while. JP Group. Okay. JP Group is remaking them. Also, the guy that I came here to talk to me, I gave him one of these. He reproduced it. So I've had a couple of these for a while. His reproduction one was really nice too. So we have these available. They're on the site. Also, there is a seal thing that goes in here. I'll put this back in the bag. But there's a seal thing that goes in here that goes around your filler neck of the Synchro. We have had that for years. And again, that's something that people haven't been able to get. We had a guy that made them for us, so we definitely had them available. So, you know, that's all these little items. We're constantly trying to get more items all the time, as Steve knows. Oh, okay, here's one more item that we have, and it seems like barely anybody has right now. I don't really understand why. Well, I do understand why. Because it's a pain in the butt to get. It is for Eurovans, which a lot of you guys are gonna like zone out right now. Okay, it's this timing belt tensioner pulley that you basically need one of these if you're going to be changing your timing belt on the 92 to 95 Eurovan, which is 2.5 gas. And we have them in stock. Okay. Okay. Alright. I'm going to answer your question in just a minute, Jose. So, we have those as well. They're on the website. And I've been selling a lot of them in the fall when people were still getting work done in Canada on their Eurovans. Because it seems like there's like a ton of Eurovans in Canada. We sold like one a day. It was pretty crazy for a while. So right now I probably got about 10 of them available, those timing belt tensioners, and you need them. If you're going to do a timing belt, a lot of times what happens is the shop has the car in there, they get the timing belt from the local place, and then they say, oh, we don't have the tensioner. You know, it's kind of stupid to do it that way. But we have them. Okay, so we keep bailing out these shops, and it's a win-win because we make money off of it. Okay, so I got a question here from Jose. He says, so that's kind of the new stuff. If I think of more stuff, we can talk about it. Alright, Jose, the propane tank valve does not receive propane. I cannot fill the tank, okay, with an 84 Vanagon. So what can happen is over time the propane tank goes bad. Okay, the tanks are supposed to be certified for a certain amount of time, and when the time goes by, it's not certified any longer. Technically, it's dangerous to keep using it. Do people keep using it? Yes. Does that mean it's going to explode and kill everyone? No, not necessarily. But when the valve starts malfunctioning, I mean, to me, it's time to move on, basically. And so that's what I would encourage you to do, is possibly think about getting a new propane tank, because that would come with a new valve. They actually changed the design of the filling valves and stuff like that. So, you know, that would be my recommendation, is if you really want to try to save your tank, okay, maybe you could, you know, go to a propane place, like, or in the U.S. there's a place called Suburban Propane. There's a bunch of other places. See if they can repair the valve, but I'm thinking that you might just want to get a new tank, and then you have a brand new tank. It's all recertified. It's got the newer style, you know, propane filler and that kind of thing, and then you can start kind of at ground zero, kind of start over. Because, you know, just to be honest with you, I mean, these tanks are 30 years old. I mean, how long are they supposed to last? So that's my advice. Alright, so I got another question. Giovanni, okay, welcome to the chat today. 84 Vanagon. Rear bearings are starting to make a loud droning, humming sound above 30 miles an hour. Repack of OE bearings or buy new ones. Redo all bearings. Yeah, I would say I would get new bearings. Okay, the new bearings that we sell are made in Germany. Okay, so they're good. It's a big hassle to repack the bearings. Like, you basically have to pull the you have to pull the rear brakes and backing plates off, and then pull the CV axle on the inside, and then pull the whole hub thing out. Once you get it out, then you could possibly repack it, but at that point, it's almost a shame not to just put new bearings in it. You just have to be really careful when you, like, I use a press to do it, because when I first started out, I tried to do it with like a brass, drift and a hammer, and you can do it that way, but you don't have enough control. Like, the one bearing just sits in there and goes up against a clip, so that's not hard. The outer one is the tricky one, because that one, there's a spacer between that one and the inner one, and so as you're pressing it in, you need to kind of stop when you get to a certain point when it's actually tight up against the spacer. You want to stop, but there's no stop built into the hub, so you could keep going and push it in too far. Okay, so that's why if you do it, I would say either take it to a machine shop and have them do it, or you need a press. Okay, but I would definitely put new bearings in there, because it's just a big fat pain to take apart and put back together. So that's my advice on that. All right, and Nick is saying no Eurovans here. I mean, I kind of agree. I've had Eurovans, but I don't have any anymore. I have Vanagons. Okay. All right, so I'll open it up. If anybody else has any other questions, we can definitely. He lives in Los Angeles. Okay, well, Jose, for you to let me fix it for you, you'd have to drive to New Jersey. So that's slightly far from Los Angeles. And plus, there's lots of nice places near you that you would probably, that would be able to... Oh, I can bring that out if you want to see it. There's probably a lot of nice shops. Like, there's a nice shop called the Bus Lab that's out there. That's a good shop. And they're not too far from you. They're probably expensive, but so are we. I haven't been doing mechanic work in a couple years because of family issues that we've been doing. Instead, we've been focusing on selling parts, getting new parts and things, and that's been working out great for us. The last 2 years, we've actually exceeded how much money we were making in doing the mechanical work. So. And I've had to do a lot less physical labor. Like, I'm not getting younger, guys. Okay, so I know maybe I'm younger than some of you, but I'm not getting any younger. So instead, we've been selling lots of parts. It's been working out great. And I just thank you guys for that. Our supporters, the faithful Vanagon and bus owners and that kind of thing. So, we definitely appreciate that. All right, we've got another guy. Per is on here. He's asking about an ECU for an 85 T3 in Europe. I think, pretty sure 85 over there used the DigiJet system, the same as a Vanagon. Let me grab, so I have rebuilt units. Let me grab one. Okay. Sorry if I mooned you or something. I didn't actually mean to do that. So we have rebuilt units. On the 85, the ECUs were behind the taillight on the driver's side. And they had two different ones that they sold. They had this one. Usually, some 85s had this one, okay, plastic body. Or some had this one, aluminum body. They both work, so there's no problem that way. And we sell these units for $250 plus $100 core charge, okay, which is, just to be honest with you, way cheaper than a lot of places sell them. And I basically give like a lifetime warranty on them. Really, it's supposed to be 2 years, but the guy who rebuilds these for me is awesome. And once he rebuilds them, they usually stay rebuilt. Okay, so we definitely have 1.9. We have 2.1 ECUs as well. That is the DigiFont version. Let me go grab this thermostat housing prototype this guy was asking about. shut that door because, you know, it looks yucky in there sometimes. Alright, yeah, we're still kind of sort of working on this thermostat housing prototype. I mean, it's right here. It looks finished. If you look at it, it looks great and it's wonderful and fine and dandy. But there was some problems with it. Right now, the big problem I have is this hole right here is not the right size. It needs to be actually machined out a little bit bigger. So I actually talked to the manufacturer guy and I said, you know, can we adjust it? Can we, you know, get that taken care of? I haven't heard back from him, so I don't know what's happening with it right now. You know, he made this prototype. I gave him one to make a prototype about, and he made one in like within 3 or 4 months that looks really sweet. I mean, it looks awesome compared to a used one. But there were some issues, like you can kind of see here, one of these holes wasn't really drilled properly. I mean, it'll work, and I probably would drill it out and put in a threaded insert to fix that. But that's one of the issues. They kind of goofed it up. I mean, again, it's a prototype. It's a pretty nice shape for a prototype. And, you know, there's some other things here that weren't quite right, but for the most part, it looks great. And this thing here, I mean, I could probably sell this. Except I tried to use this on a regular one, and it doesn't fit properly. It's like not quite right. It's great for this one, okay, but like to put it with an older one, if for some weird reason, it's like this part here needs to be like a little bit small, like ground a little bit. I'm not sure why. So long story short, we are still working on that. Nick Malarski wants to know, what about the 3-knob panel for the Synchro? That's a good question. I had one here a while back. I don't have one at the moment, I don't think. I'll have to look and on through my stuff. But the biggest problem you have a lot of times if you're trying to make like a reproduction part, you need a good copy. You need a good original. Okay, so you get that good original. I can give it to my guy. He can copy it. Okay, so if we want to get a 3-knob panel for the Synchro, as far as I know, I haven't seen any of them out there. We would need a good used one to copy and get that done for you. So that's what's basically holding a lot of this stuff back. We got AJ Lazable says, what kind of test can I do to check why my van is running rich? New airflow meter, wires, spark plugs, rotor cap, rebuilt injectors, clean grounds, new temp 2 and O2. Okay. So we've talked about this before in the past. A lot of the times the running rich situation is being caused by the wiring that goes to the oxygen sensor, not actually the oxygen sensor itself. And I'll bring out this repair thing that I have for this so I can kind of explain it a little bit better. Yeah, I guess this one will work. So we came up with a repair kit. Like, the best way to deal with it, in my personal opinion, is to get a completely new engine harness because they are beat. Okay, your old engine harnesses are pretty much beat. We have new ones available that we have made, and they're awesome. Okay, but the problem with running rich a lot of times is the wire that goes from the engine harness to where it plugs to the oxygen sensor wiring, that goes bad. And it's because it's a coaxial wire. This is a repair kit that we sell. Okay, it's a coaxial wire. You can see it has 2 leads on this end. So one lead is your signal. Okay, that's this blue one on this one. And then the other one is a ground for the shielded part on the outside of the wire. And so what happens with age is this particular wire that's going from the computer to the plug that plugs onto your oxygen sensor, the 2 wires somehow start bleeding across to each other. Okay, so now instead of getting a good signal from the oxygen sensor, you're getting a messed up signal. And here's the typical failure mode of this. So you start up the car runs good. Okay, you drive the car, and after a few minutes, it starts running bad, and it's running rich, and it's running like crap. Okay, if you turn the car off and turn it back on again, it runs great for about a minute, and then it starts running bad again. And that is because the computer looks at all of the sensors immediately as soon as you start the car, except for the oxygen sensor. It has a time delay to allow it to warm up. Okay, so how you can tell right away, Steve is saying, you know, check your temp 2. Okay, that's another possibility. But here's, like I said, here's how to check it. You start it up and run it until it starts running bad. Turn the key off. Even if you're driving down the road, you can turn the key off, turn the key back on, the car will restart. Or just pull over somewhere, turn it off, start it, and continue driving. Does it run better? Okay, if it runs better immediately, and then after a little while it runs bad again, it's pretty much 100% this oxygen sensor wiring problem, or the oxygen sensor itself. Since you've already replaced the oxygen sensor, we eliminate that as a possibility, and it's this wiring, okay, which you can get either as a repair kit that we have on the website, or you can get a completely new engine harness, which we also have on the website available. If you turn the key off and turn it back on and run it, and it runs terrible, like all the time, then it's something else. Then it's the temp 2, okay, which can be bad, or the wiring for the temp 2. I've had problems with sometimes the wiring between the temp 2 and the the wiring between the temp 2 and the ECU goes bad, or the ground, but you said you've already done grounds. Okay, so, you know, all those different things. Alright, Jose wants to know, do we have elevators, motorcycles? I'm imagining you're talking about, like, maybe some kind of a thing for the back of the van that picks up a motorcycle, or some kind of, like, a little shelf thing that would hold a motorcycle. That's what I think you're talking about. I mean, you can buy a little, like a 2-inch receiver hitch thing for your van, and then they make these little, like, shelf things you can put in that. They sell them at Harbor Freight, pretty cheap, and you can strap your motorcycle to that. That's all I can think of. Anything else, I don't know what else you mean, so sorry about that. Alright, you're welcome, Nick. I hope if anybody has any parts they want to reproduce, they have a nice copy of it that they're holding on to, or they know somebody that has a nice copy of it, version of it, not a copy, but you know, an original. Because we want to copy an original because you want it to be as nice as possible, right? You know, let me know, I'll talk to my guy and we can get it going. Okay? Alright, so, yep. Really? Yeah, that's weird, Per. I don't know. I mean, all the vans I've ever seen have had the ECU behind the tail light on the driver's side if it's an 85. The later ones, they moved it, like 86 and 92, they moved it to under the rear seat. And that's also still on the driver's side, but it's under the rear seat. So, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is, look there. That's the only 2 locations I've ever seen for water boxer. You know, the buses, they had this weird thing where the computer was like kind of in the body over to the passenger side. But Vanagons, I've always seen the ECU to be on the driver's side, but yeah, either one of those 2 locations. If you look under the back seat, I mean, it's possible that yours could be really like an 86, maybe. If you look under the back seat, over like to the side of the heater in the back, under the back seat, that would be like a black metal thing. Let me go. I have a bunch of them here, by the way. If you look under the back seat and you see this thing over towards the driver's side, this is what the computer is inside of. So you would have to take, there's like a little 10mm nut right here. You take that off and you kind of pick this up and kind of hinge it out and it'll come out. And then on this side, this is where the computer lives. It's got some Phillips head screws you take out and the computer can come out and you can unplug it. So I mean, this could be what you're seeing when you look under the back seat is this thing, and that's why you're not seeing the computer. That's all I can think of, because I mean that's the only thing that's kind of like could be hiding it. If you look behind the tail light, I mean it's super obvious. So maybe that's what's going on. That's all I know. I mean, I know there are some differences between the European and the US Vanagons, but there's usually not that much differences. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Alright. Do we got any other questions before we call it a day? Oh, I wanted to mention some stuff. So, next month, in April, and it's thankfully it's not that far away, I'm going to be taking a trip to Belize. And I'm going to try to take you guys with me. Okay? So, what's happening in Belize this year? This year in Belize, I talked to my friend about that usually lets me use his Vanagon. He's actually going to be busy this year with guests at his house. So we're renting a house for ourselves. We're not staying at his house as we normally do. Some of you guys, if you've watched our Belize videos, you kind of see you know, where we normally stay, which is a super awesome, huge mansion. This guy is a Vanagon owner. He's like the nicest man in the universe. He lets us stay there because usually they're not there. This year they're going to be there. So we're not going to be staying there. Instead, we're going to be staying at a house we're going to rent that's not too far away. And I asked him about about renting a car. He said, well, I have a local guy here that bought a bus. And he needs somebody to look at it for him. So if you do that, you can just use that while you're here. Well, here's the cool part. It's not just a regular bus. It's a 91 Mexican water-cooled bus. Okay, so I don't know if you guys knew about this or not, but back in like 1987, they started making buses in Mexico, but instead of putting in the air-cooled engine, they put in a 1.8 inline four-cylinder, kind of like a Jetta or a Golf. Okay, so I guess if anybody out there knows kind of more specifics about this thing, that would help me out. What I'm going to do is bring some parts down when I come down, like tune-up parts, a timing belt, some sensors. I can probably find a lot of this information on this one website that I like to go on called, what's this website called? And if you guys don't know about this site, you're definitely missing out. It's called OEMEPC.com. So it's like OEM and then it's like EPC, like electronic parts catalog. So anyway, if you haven't ever been there, I would definitely go there and look at it. And what it does, it's like Volkswagen's microfiche online. You can go on there, you can see what they have to offer, and you can look up even other countries or other markets. It's good to see Costas here in the chat. Good to have him. You know, you can see other markets and what they have. So I'm going to go on there and look up a 1991 transporter, right? That's made for the Mexico market. I should be able to see like what kind of timing belt it needs, timing belt tensioners, all that stuff. So I gotta get some of that stuff together. He's having problems with, I guess he needs a new timing belt, which pretty easy to do on that. And I guess he also needs a new like some sensors and things, because none of his things are working. Okay, so Costas says the engine is from a Gull, not a Golf. Okay, I mean here in the US that's what we call them, is a Golf. I think that's what we used to call them. We used to call them rabbits. That's actually the US word. So yeah, that's weird. I don't know, Per. I've never seen them anywhere else. Alright, so Jose asks, do I have a diagram of the Vanagon 1.9 engine, like the vacuum hoses? Is that what you're looking for? That's actually should be in your van. Okay. Does anybody want to tell him where it is? So if you look in your engine bay of your van, there should be a diagram, vacuum hose diagram. There's a little black box that's over, kind of like two. Go fix your van. That's right. Go fix your van, Costas. That's what Steve says. So if you look over to the left side, to the driver's side, and at the firewall, okay, there'll be like a black plastic box right there. A lot of times on that box is a sticker that has the diagram, the vacuum diagram. There's also a picture in the Bentley manual of the vacuum diagram. If you don't have a Bentley manual and you don't have the other diagram in the car, which a lot of times it's there, email me. I can take a picture from my Bentley manual and email it to you. Okay. You know, I don't think you get in trouble for like basically sharing one page out of something. So I can do that for you. But it should be in the car. Okay. Or if you have a Bentley manual, it's definitely in that. Okay, there's a few diagrams in there, and you know, there's not a lot to it. Okay. All right, so I'm trying to think. So anyway, so I'm excited about going to Belize. We didn't get to go last year. A lot of you guys know about my dad. Had some strokes, and he's still bedridden. He's still not really doing that great. Then last year my pastor got sick, and I had to kind of help out at our church with him being sick. Kind of funny, or not really that funny story, but this fall the exact same thing happened again. He had to get a quadruple bypass. Stuck by my pastor, had to get a quadruple bypass, and I had to fill in for him the entire winter. So I couldn't go to Belize until April. Okay, but we're going in April. And so it's gonna be great, and I get to look at this. It's not a Brazilian; it's actually a Mexican bus. Okay, and they actually made them, I think, until early '90s in Mexico, until they finally just you know, moved everything to Brazil, and then they made them there until like 2015. Maybe, and they stopped finally making them in Brazil. I mean, if you look at a Mexican-made bus or Brazilian-made bus, right, you can tell the difference because they have like a radiator on the front and the side, this plastic enclosure. They also have this kind of weird-looking roof to me, where it's kind of slightly raised. So, I mean, I'm going to be taking video of this bus. We're going to be driving it the entire time we're there, and you guys get to see what it's like and kind of come along with us. So I hope you guys can, you know, come along with us, enjoy learning about a Mexican-made water-cooled bus. Steve wants to know, is my daughter still working me? No, she's not. Okay, she is working for Chick-fil-A again, and she's been working there for probably a whole nother year. So that's basically what's happening. I've been doing everything here myself. I have been kind of toying with an idea to get an older Volkswagen person that is kind of retired, but they want to make some additional money, and they could answer the phone and take technical questions and things like that. I'm thinking about that. They could work remotely. They could work at their house. It wouldn't be 40 hours a week. It would probably be maybe like 6 hours a day, something like that. And they could help me by taking technical questions on the phone, taking orders on the phone, that kind of stuff. Because when we get to be, in the summertime, it gets crazy. I mean, right now, some days it gets crazy. Our January was double of what we've been doing. So that's good. I have a chat thing on the website, like I was telling you guys, similar to the chat thing you're seeing here in YouTube. And people chat with me on it all the time about they're getting ready to place an order, they have questions, they have this and that. There will be times when I'm chatting with 2 to 3 people at the same time. Plus, I'm on the phone. Okay, so it would be nice to have another person to possibly answer the phone, possibly do chats with people. And again, since you're not going to have to go anywhere, you can basically do it from your home. It's really just about finding the right person to possibly do that. Okay, that would free me up to continue to develop products and to do some stuff here, do more videos and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about it. So if anybody's interested in that, that lives here in the USA, sorry Costas, and again, I would like an older person that has knowledge. Okay, they have to have Volkswagen knowledge. It would be nice if they had some Vanagon knowledge. Okay, that would be wonderful, because I don't want somebody that doesn't know anything. When people call me, they want to be able to talk to somebody that knows something, and not just somebody that says, "Oh yeah, Volkswagen vans, I've heard of them." You know what I'm saying? So if you're interested, you watch this. Peter Benici, I was hoping he could be on here, but he's probably moved on with his life. If you watch this and you say, "Hey, I'm interested in that," you can email me off the channel, and we'll be glad to talk to you. I've got a guest coming in. Oh, look who it is. It's my beautiful wife. Alright, now she just left. She got scared and left. Bye! Oh, you'll see her on the Belize videos anyway. Alright, so I guess that's about it. I kind of wanted to rant about Volkswagen right now. Volkswagen. What is going on with Volkswagen right now? Okay. Last week, the president of Volkswagen quoted a slogan that is above a Jewish concentration / work / extermination camp as something positive. What? Why? Okay. In the media, Volkswagen, all they're doing right now is, to me, all they're doing is putting up smoke screens. Okay, smoke screens. Ever since Dieselgate, all we've been getting from them is smoke and mirrors. Okay, we are going to build a lot of electric cars. Okay, I will believe it when I see it. To be perfectly honest with you, I will believe when I see it. We're going to bring a bunch of Volkswagen vans over, campers over, and show them to YouTuber influencers and get a lot of stuff in the media. This was when Dieselgate was kind of going on. And we're going to get a lot of hype and things on that. And yet, no one in the US will be able to buy these vans. What is the purpose of this? Right? What is the purpose of this? Nothing. There's no purpose to this. Except to hype, be in the media, be hyped, and make smoke. Okay, distract from media issues and things. I don't mind a German guy in Germany as long as you would be able to work USA hours, which, to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to work, because by the time we get started, you guys are being done for the day. But, so this is the problem I have with Volkswagen right now. The hype machine is in, full effect. Okay? We're going to make electric cars. We're making an electric bus. They brought that over. Okay? They had YouTuber influencer people driving that around, showing it to people. Videos are nice. Everything looks great and fine and dandy. But is it going to happen? Okay? I don't know. It's supposed to happen in 2020. Then it's supposed to happen in 2021. Then it's supposed to happen in 2022. So, I don't understand what they're doing right now. They're trying to distract people from Dieselgate. This is all that I can get. To me, the pinnacle of this, okay, is, well, of course, the, freedom through work or whatever slogan that the president of Volkswagen quoted. which is above a very notorious Nazi concentration camp in Poland. Okay, why would you quote this? Right? Why would you quote this slogan to anyone for any reason when you know what's associated with it? Okay, but it's a distraction, and also they've been hyping cars that I know that they're never going to make. Like 100%. If they make an electric dune buggy, right? An electric dune buggy. Yeah, they're going to make that. Oh, it's been in the news cycle. I've seen it in the news cycle. Welcome to from this guy from Saudi Arabia. Welcome to our rant against Volkswagen. I'm not against Volkswagen. I'm against what are they even doing right now? What is happening with them as a company? I don't understand. Okay? They have some nice products, but we can't get them here in the U.S. Okay? Alright. Why not? Why wouldn't you sell a car to the biggest market in the world? Right? I don't know. Because you're subsidized by your government? I don't understand. But, and then to the point of, we have to distract from Dieselgate. Everyone has to forget about that. We're going to be a green company. We're going to make electric vehicles. Like Costa says, the jury's out on electric vehicles unless they're getting their electricity from, you know, more sustainable source than gasoline. Then what is the actual point of that? Okay? I mean, if you're getting your power in Germany, they have a lot of coal plants because they have big coal as a resource. Okay, I mean, there's still a lot of coal mining going on in Germany. Here in the U.S., we have coal plants as well. Unless you're getting your power from solar, wind, hydro, which they've been cutting back a lot on that because, you know, we're messing up the fish and all these other things. What's the actual point? Okay, we're just moving the pollution from a car that is basically polluting 99.95% less than it did back in the 70s when everybody was got all excited about pollution. It's actually polluting 99.95% less than then. That's pretty low. Okay, there's some cars that basically are putting out breathable air as they're out of their tailpipe. Okay, I mean, I wouldn't recommend breathing it, but it's almost to that point of being breathable air, and yet we're still mad about cars. And, you know, instead we see, you know, now we're having electric cars, which I like the idea of electric car because it's so efficient. Okay, electric car is very efficient. You're putting in energy, you're getting out energy very efficiently. The downside to it is the battery technology. Okay, the batteries are made out of expensive, rare materials that are hard to get your hands on. Okay, right now we have lithium batteries, right? They're great, but the materials that go into them are rare, expensive, and I don't know how great the mining of them is for the environment, to be honest with you. Okay, are they the future? Yes, I think electric cars are the future. But is it the future now, or is the future, you know, 20 years from now? Okay, so, you know, Steve is saying in Canada they have a lot of hydropower. Okay, and here in the U.S. we had a lot more than we do now. We have basically cut back on it. We used to have a lot more than we do now, but we've cut back on it because of messing with wildlife. Okay, I mean, in California, Southern California, I'll give you an example. I don't want to get too crazy, but in Southern California, notorious for either droughts or floods. Okay, and for many, many years, people that lived in that area just lived with it. Okay, so they were either having droughts and not having any water, and their farms were going under and turning into a big dust bowl, or they would have massive amounts of water and it would flood everything out and they would be floating away. Okay, so what people decided to do was to do water management systems, dams and things like that. Put all these things in place so that when you have massive amounts of rain, it captures it, it turns it into hydropower. I've been to the Hoover Dam, and you can do things with the water and manage it to get it to farms and places that need it. When you're droughting, you use that water reserve to fill in that time. Okay? That was the best way to deal with it, I think. But nowadays, we've decided that those massive projects were a big mistake because they negatively impact the environment in certain particular ways. And now we want to get rid of those dams and things. And I think that's a big mistake. Okay? That's a big mistake. But, you know, that's just my opinion. Alright, so we've got some comments here. You know, Costa's saying that, you know, the production of the battery is bad. That's what I'm saying. The problem with the lithium-ion batteries in a car format is that if you have to replace it, it's very, very expensive. And also, what do you do with the old one? Okay, unless we have a recycling thing in place for them, you know, that could be a big problem. Then we have Nick. He says we have sun in the U.S. We definitely are expanding our solar, and we've expanded it a lot, but we're still at maybe 5% of renewables right now. I mean, it's very low percentage. It used to be 1% just a few years ago, so it's definitely growing, but it's going to take a lot longer to grow. Purr says they have a nice pic of the electric future retro-looking bus. I've seen that. I've seen the videos of people driving it, and I like it. It looks great. Is it going to happen? That is the question mark. They've had bus concepts for the last 20 years, and none of them have ever came to fruition. I mean, we're looking at what, T6 that they've been making. I mean, they keep making a Volkswagen van and bus. Can we get that in the U.S.? No, we can't. Okay. Are we ever going to get it? Okay, so Nick says we're at 12%, but coal and gas are not going away. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, it's expanding, and it's expanding at a rapid pace, our renewables, which I think is good. I have solar panels here on the house, on the shop. I think I made a video showing you guys that a while back. So, you know, if you want to support us, you're supporting a solar-powered Vanagon parts shop. Okay, we get all of our power from solar panels, and we do also tie it into the grid. So, you know, but most of our power is from solar. And, you know, again, yeah, nuclear power. I mean, we have nuclear power plants here in New Jersey where I'm at. A lot of our power comes from Salem, which is a nuclear plant here. But again, you know, the problem with older nuclear plants was that they were kind of like experiments, okay, and they weren't made as efficiently as they could be made now. But because of so many meltdowns and things, I mean, again, we're 3 Mile Island here in the U.S., Chernobyl, Fukushima, okay. There's been a lot of meltdowns over the years. People are kind of gun shy on the nuclear thing, and also the waste, okay. So I don't know what's going to happen that way. I like solar and wind because they have very little impact as far as long term on the environment, I think. Okay, but you know, again, they have to deal with it. So how they're dealing with it is, you know, battery packs and stuff like that. Yeah, I know Chernobyl was a nightmare, and 3 Mile Island was also just a comedy of errors. Fukushima, same exact thing. I mean, these places were supposed to have fail-safes, and some of them got bypassed and things, like whatever. And when they would make they can make new plants now that are actually fail-safe. Like if they actually failed, they wouldn't melt down; they would just turn off. But I don't know. So anyway, I didn't want to get into a big discussion about nuclear power and things. But, you know, what I wanted to say, I had a little rant about Volkswagen that, you know, they seem like they are just not focused. They seem like they're not, they're just kind of meandering around, trying to figure out, you know, what to do next after Dieselgate. I think Dieselgate really caught them off guard, that people would be that upset about it. I don't know. or they just thought they would get away with it. Okay, and now they don't know what to do next. They think, okay, if we make a big deal about our electric vehicle, thing, that's going to get people's minds on that. But yeah, I mean, they seem like they're unfocused right now with their company. So I hope they maybe get a new leader that can refocus. Okay, but I don't know. The production input of a new battery is equal to 25,000 kilometers or 250,000 kilometers of existing diesel. It's very possible. Like I said, the gas technology we have is very clean. Even the diesel technology, the diesel gate, right? How big of a deal is this we're talking about? It's not that big of a deal as far as actual impact on the environment or people's health. Okay? It's raising the amount of particles in the air by a minuscule amount, to be honest with you. And the biggest problem I have with, us, we are, changing the environment. We are making warming happening on the planet. Is global warming happening? Yeah, sure. Okay, I don't deny it. Are we causing it? I don't know. Okay, why do I say that? I say, again, we do all these things. We have planes and we have cars and things. Alright, here's the problem I have with this idea. A volcano erupts. A volcano erupts. And it spews out enough smoke, ash, and all these other contaminants, and very toxic, to equal 100 years of driving cars. And it does that in a month. Okay? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? And this one volcano erupts, like in Iceland or something, and does that. How can we stop that from happening? Right? We can't stop that. And it just did enough stuff to equal 100 years of all the world's cars emitting stuff and things. So, how can we stop it? And the other thing I don't understand is we don't know enough about the weather and how to we're basically be terraforming Earth if we're going to cool down the planet now from global warming. We're going to try to stop it. Okay? We don't have enough knowledge to do this. Okay? They can't even predict weather more than 2 or 3 days out with any kind of accuracy. Okay? But they're going to tell us, oh, but we know 100 years from now this is going to happen and all stuff. No, they don't. And to be honest with you, they're not going to be here if they're wrong. So, to me, it's like the best scam you can ever put across on anyone. Hey, everyone, spend billions of dollars to do things that we say are going to happen in 100 years, and if we're wrong, we're not going to be here. It's for you to put us in jail or face any consequences whatsoever. You're going to be here, and I was here for Y2K. Anybody remember that? I remember that. All these people, scientists and IT people and whatnot, were telling us all these dangers that were going to happen because the computers couldn't update in Y2K. How many people experienced bad things from Y2K? I didn't. Nothing happened. When nothing happened, what did the scientists and IT people say? Well, and they spent millions and millions of dollars, okay, on Y2K, maybe even billions. And when nothing happened, they said, oh, well, that's because we spent all those billions. Okay, maybe it did, but maybe it didn't. Nobody knows. If nothing bad happens, you say, wow, that was because we did it. If something, you know what I'm saying? There's no way to prove it one way or the other. And a lot of stuff that they said was going to happen that they didn't update didn't cause any problems. Okay, so this is the problem I have with global warming. Is it happening? Yes. I mean, weather is changing here in New Jersey. It's raining here all the time. It's like we're in a big tropical rainforest all the time. Do I like it? I really don't like it that much because we're getting flooded to death. California, they're getting fires and things. But like I said, over there, their weather's crazy all the time anyway. And so, you know, is weather going to change? Are there trends and things? Yes. But can we stop it? Can we, you know, geo-engineer the Earth to make it cooler down? Is our efforts going to be worth anything? I don't know. And really, I don't even know if there's a way to find out. You know, a lot of these things they're talking about, it's going to take 20, 30, 40 years for us to feel the impact of any changes that we do if we go to all electric. And by that point, all those people that invested all that money and did all that stuff are going to have spent it and be dead. So, you know, I don't know what to do about the situation. That's just my take on it. Alright, so I guess that's it. You guys are probably all in a boredom coma at this point. We've gone over our normal hour. So I'm going to try to be back next week with you guys again. In the meantime, if you want to put any questions or comments into the comments of this video, I'd be glad to, you know, answer them for you. Try to do that. I understand what you're saying, costs about ships, so they pollute. Everything pollutes, you know, and ships use bunker fuel, which is basic, almost raw oil from the ground. So that can't be nice. That can't be clean. But we're going to let you guys go. Hope you guys get more smiles per gallon with your van. Please like, share, subscribe. If there's anything that... I understand what you're saying. If there's anything that you want to talk about in the future live streams or whatever, please let us know. We'll be glad to talk about those things. And, you know, as always, guys, thank you guys so much. If you want to support us on Patreon, you can do that. We have 3 people so far that are doing that, $5 a month. It makes a difference. You know, they can, we can possibly do more videos. I am going to continue my restoration of a Karat Vanagon that we've been working on. Probably not until we get back from Belize. Okay, so, excuse me, so in a couple weeks in April, we'll be going to Belize for 2 weeks. We're going to be driving around this Mexican bus, and we'll be sending videos back to the U.S. if we can on that, and, you know, hopefully you guys will enjoy some of that. So that's it, guys, for today. Thanks for being here, and have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next time.